Hello, everyone. My name is Austin Cooper, and I'll be talking about how to monitor training load. Training load can be described as the cumulative amount of exercise that one is completing, and it is measured by duration and intensity. The duration is easy to measure, but to measure the intensity is where most of the problems in research arise. The two categories of training load are internal and external. There's a fine line between very intensive training overload and insufficient training. Too much can cause injury, and too little can limit physical advancement. When assessing training load, it's important to focus on recovery because this is where healing and strengthening collide to prevent injury within the body. The activities performed by the body have an impact on the internal structure and the tissues. Intensity of the training will affect how structural and functional adaptations take place. One research journal talks about how separately considering physiological and biomechanical load adaptation to better understand the limits of training load within individuals. When dealing with the lower extremity injury, it's best to rehabilitate it with a higher physiological load and lower biomechanical load. That one's going to come from this statement here. In recent years, global positioning systems have been used on athletes to monitor their activity levels in running-based activities. This has helped researchers gather more information by measuring running velocity through the use of energy consumption. From running velocity, they can calculate acceleration of the individual and determine the best fit for peak performance. The accuracy of this device is limited because most sports involve a stop-and-go pace instead of a steady pace. Also, it can only be used outdoors and restricted to position tracking. Internal and external load ratio has been used to analyze the psychophysiological factors compared to the external load produced. One research journal explains that an increased internal load can have a negative impact by increasing fatigue, while a decreased internal load shows an athlete with a positive impact on training. And that one comes from this here. See that? This helps identify fatigue in athletes on and off the field. Research has only just recently begun in training load, and the future holds much promise on sensing solutions for predicting and coordinating movements in the sports world. An innovation idea I thought of was a wearable device that can be wrapped around major muscle groups that are exerting force. This device would be able to analyze the muscle tension and the force it produces during a movement. I strongly believe this will be a wearable analytic tool in the near future, along with many other types that have pattern recognition and advanced neural networks. Implicit in these developments will be the need to ensure the integrity and cleanliness of data and the ecological validity of the models used to predict performance and injury risk. Thank you for listening, and I hope you have a better insight on how to monitor training load as well as what the future holds for technology advancement within this field.